Right. Doing it live.
So, the Halo Summer Update includes a ton of things, but mainly the big one is 4K support for Halo 5.
I'm absolutely thrilled for this because, I mean, for those people, there's a lot of people out there who haven't adopted 4K, of course.
Right. You are not one of them.
I'm not one of those people. I definitely jumped in and bought a 65-inch Samsung 4K, and it's been amazing. Like, even for, like, not getting, like, 4K off of, like, my Xbox One S, I still get HDR gaming.
Still upscaled.
Yeah, it still gets upscaled with the super sampling and everything that it does, but it's really exciting just because be able to like experience HDR, which is like the colors that the developers want you to see, like when they're putting it in there, just be able to get that picture painted is really awesome.
Yeah. So 4K is a huge part of the Xbox One X and some of the value behind that. So making a flagship game like Halo 5 have 4K support out of the box, I think is really fan service for one. You know, it's saying, hey, people, if you want to upgrade to this, your favorite games, we are upgrading those games too. The ones that are already existing, your Gears of War, your Halo 5s, things like that, they're going to be brought up. We're not leaving anything behind. We're going to make sure any digital titles you've purchased, those things carry on with you forward. So I think that's really important to note when you're looking at the Xbox space and how the family is changing with the introduction of the Xbox One X. And something that kind of gets me excited about this too is like, who's to say that 4K patch doesn't come with a Halo 5 update on PC where we can play campaign and multiplayer on PC? You know, conspiracy theories.
I mean, it hasn't been 100% ruled out that they will not do Halo on PC.
Yeah, well, at least the next one, if we're keeping consistent with the Play Anywhere factor, it will be on PC. Yeah. So maybe 5 never officially comes, and I think that's okay. I don't necessarily want 343 to... I don't want to say waste resources, but allocate resources to putting Halo 5 on PC. I'd rather them just go full steam ahead on their next project.
Focus on the finale for the Reclaimer trilogy.
Or the saga, as they're putting it now.
Yeah, the Master Chief Saga.
So, I do appreciate the fan service, but there is a concern for me that I have within just the 4K and these texture packs and things being updated, is if the Xbox One X owners are going to have the option to opt out of that 4K or not. Because if you think about it, a 4K package on top of an already 40 gig game, like those texture packs are like 30, 40 gigs on top of a 40 gig install. Huge. So you're looking at sometimes 100 gigs per game on a terabyte hard drive. That's like 10 games, and that's not including software that's taking that up, other apps and other game updates and things that are coming later down the road.
Well, like following up with that too, like a huge thing that like I don't know if a lot of people notice this though, but if you're on Xbox and you look at how much space Halo 5 takes up, I think mine's like 80 to 90 gigs just for the game, and that's including all the patches and updates. So and granted, it has been a heavily supported game with a ton of updates, so it has earned the right to be that large with how much it's been supported. But that's still, even if you have an original Xbox One X, that is more than 20% of your hard drive if you factor out what Microsoft takes for their own operating system. So that, that's a fifth of your hard drive taken up by one game. So it's something that we're going to have to consider when PlayStation 4 titles, PS4 titles, PS4 Pro titles are getting their texture packs and things like that. Like, we all want it. And then there's the debate about bandwidth around it, too, which we're going to touch on later when we talk about the PlayStation Now games coming to PC and why PlayStation Now services like Xbox Live Play Anywhere are, they're great, but do we have the infrastructure to support them? That's a good point.
So it's like, I'm really happy about this. I think, one thing I know Microsoft does really well, and we see it in the Xbox One's UI all the time, is that option for choice. To be able to hit that option button and see what you can do with that achievement, what you can do with that game, where you can put it, how you can organize it. And they constantly, through the preview program, are updating those features and taking live feedback. I mean, I get monthly updates that fix UI, add features, and fix problems. And it's one of the reasons why I support my Xbox One and my Xbox family so heavily, because of that community support. They might not be the number one console with the best exclusives out there right now, but they do listen to their community and they do make changes off real feedback, and I feel valued as a gamer on their platform. This is just kind of feeding into that support that I already have. No, I'm totally there with you. I mean, as soon as, like, when Microsoft announced the Xbox One back in E3 2013,
I mean, I was on board because I thought some of the awesome ideas about being able to digitally share your library was super. I mean, that's something you can do on Steam right now.
But Don Matrix said.
I know.
Don Matrix said, buy 360, you soldiers.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it was a PR TV, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I mean, like
it was rough. I mean,
we're
going
through our PS3 stage. You know,
Yeah,
it's one of those things. Giant enemy crap.
I mean, let's be real. Don Matrix did not do any favors for Microsoft whatsoever. But the one good saving grace is that when Phil Spencer took over, this guy was like, "Look, the fans know what they want. Let's give them what they want. People want 4K. We'll give you a 4K console. You want something a little bit in between where it's not full 4K, but you can still watch 4K movies? Xbox One S. You want to just have an Xbox you can play games on? Xbox One.
Yeah,
that's it. So I mean." And keeping the continuity to where they all play together, and especially now with adding the backwards compatibility for Xbox, the original Xbox,
yes,
where you can like play multiplayer with
all generations on all these consoles.
No other system out there can do that.
And wait until that comes to Windows 10 support, because Phil Spencer has said himself, I want to bring this to PC. Yeah. I want to bring these things, and they want to blur the lines of where you play your game.
Yeah.
They want it to be like games as a service. They want it to be like Netflix in a way where it's like it doesn't matter what device, as long as this line is drawn. And I've said this many a time, whether it's in my personal videos or the unbiased podcast I've done with Seth. Like, this is something I truly believe, and I think Microsoft continues to make decisions that support that. One of those decisions is including all Halo backwards compatible titles, including Halo 3, Halo CE, the updated Anniversary Edition that was on 360.
Halo 3 ODST.
Halo 3 ODST, as well as Halo 4, all backwards compatible and playable on the Xbox One now, without Master Chief Collection. So...
full split screen, it's back, baby.
Yeah, full split screen is back, so you can get your
LAN parties.
And LAN party support over the 360 as well as the Xbox One.
Yeah, that's huge.
So you can have a room full of 360s and a room full of Xbox Ones and be playing these games that exist on both systems with the exact same multiplayer, exact same game design. I think that's huge.
That's huge. I mean, this...
It's fan service, and I'm not going to say this is a game changer. This isn't something I'm going to go and buy an Xbox One for. But for a Halo fan, for somebody who owns all these games digitally, like, all that is just, it's giving me more value for my system.
More options.
It's more really options, too. It's archiving my games library, which is important when we're in this age of digital rights, and where can I play these things, and when does, not necessarily planned obsolescence, but just the quick arc that technology is on right now. You know, we are so quick to leave things behind that aren't even 10, 20 years old, but have immense impact in as far as the game and how it changed what we play, that I think every company, including Nintendo and Sony and everybody, should put more stock into saving these historical games, though.
Yeah.
It's not only I want to play, or I'm, because I mean, like, there have been studies, people don't play their backwards compatible games, which is fine, but it's still that service, and it's still that important archiving that also helps attack piracy. When you do things like this, and you make the game cheap enough on a digital rights store, like, people aren't going to pirate.
I mean, we look at it this way, like, you see how Steam does all these huge summer sales, and like I myself, I am like so guilty of this.
Yeah,
just blowing huge amounts of money.
What did I tell you?
All these games that are like so cheap, like Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
It was
$4.
$4 for Game of the Year with all the DLC with it. So like getting like that type of option, but like for backwards compatible games, just having it there. And I mean, we're talking people who maybe they never even own an Xbox 360. They can play those backwards compatible games now that they would not be able to do unless they went out and bought a 360.
I couldn't agree more. A part of that, all those games too coming to Xbox One, they are all getting the complete DLC treatment. So every piece of DLC that ever released for any of those games is completely free and downloadable as well. So that's huge. Halo Wars 2 got some DLC announcements, kind of finishing out that season pass. Though I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. As much as I like Halo Wars and I like RTSs, I played and beat that game. I just have no interest in going back.
So, okay, you know what? I'm with you there. I'm not a huge RTS fan, so I never really played a lot of Command & Conquer or Warhammer, or StarCraft, for example. But I really loved the original Halo Wars, and that's a game that I kept going back on the 360, to where if I was like done playing like Master Chief campaigns and whatnot, I'd be like, you know what, I want to play some more Halo that's not the first person shooter.
Right, and get more story.
Yeah, right. and kind of get more into the lore and the universe. So being able to go and play Halo Wars was awesome. So then I get the second Halo Wars, and knowing me because I'm such a nerd for anything Halo, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to slap down, what was it, $129 or $99 for the Super Deluxe Edition that they have. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, you definitely get your money's worth with all those Blitz packs they give you. But like with me, I don't play Halo Wars for multiplayer. I play it for just being able to control an entire like UNSC army, or like controlling, not the Flood, but the Covenant, for example. Like just playing offline type of stuff. That's kind of more where I like it. And it's just Halo Wars 2 didn't change much from the first, but it just didn't have that same feel that the first one captured, where you were like really drawn into it.
I think, like, some of the things, like, to highlight about Halo Wars 2 is that I do love the continuity thing. I was able to play on PC or console, have it pick up right where I left off. That was really nice, specifically when I want to play multiplayer on PC. But if I was just doing story and I was kind of relaxing, having that controller experience was nice. So I enjoyed that. But, like, I really just wish that these DLC packs had these story elements to it to kind of build on this storyline, but not in a major way. Like, I don't need all those really nice cinematics that made the Halo Wars 2.
It was really gorgeous.
I know. But, I mean, it's like so much money a minute for that, I remember. It's crazy expensive for that. It's Blur who makes those videos.
Yeah.
And I think they charge, like, I heard the number somewhere in another podcast. I don't want to say $1 million a minute, but it was like $1 million every 10 minutes or something. I don't know. It was something crazy where I was like, I guess if you're making something that beautiful, you can charge whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean,
but
you see it too with the Master Chief Collection, with Halo 2's like cutscenes that they remastered. Like Blur did such a phenomenal job. It was almost like photorealistic.
But then part of me goes like, how much money did we spend on that we could have put into gameplay or more story and things like that? And when like you consider the person who's buying that season pass right now, it really only served you for like a year. Like that season is over after these content updates throughout this year.
The last one is in August.
And it's just like for somebody like me who's not playing that multiplayer, who kind of got in, played it, got out, I just don't see the value here. So as much as it's nice, it's fan service, it's more things for the people who are really enjoying that to play, it's just not for me.
No, I totally get it. And I mean, and especially for people who are on the fence who might want to get Halo Wars, pick it up when it's on sale. I mean, it's definitely worth it.
I still think it's an amazing game.
Yeah,
like,
it's definitely worth it. But if you're not a huge like RTS fan and but you want some Halo story,
or if more or less if you're in it for the story, you're not in it for competitive play, you're gonna have a lot. Yeah, buy it on sale. I think if you could pick up Halo Wars for $40 or less, you are in for a good experience.
Heck yeah, definitely.
So with that.